Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Yijun from Jiangxi High School, and today it's my great honor to stand here to express with you about my idea about my topic, which is say no to Chinese crossing. On May 23rd, Shenzhen has introduced tough new rules in order to discourage Chinese crossing. On the day that the new rules were introduced, nearly 3,000 people were caught violating them by 1,300 police standing guard at various intersections throughout the city. Of those caught, 2,000 people were issued a fine. So, what is Chinese crossing? Chinese crossing refers to large crowds of Chinese people crossing roads no matter whether the traffic light is green or red. Actually, this phenomenon is actually commonly seen in many cities in China. It is very dangerous that pedestrians scramble for road with cars in crowded downtown areas. You might think that this phenomenon is exaggerated. Like somebody saying that Chinese crossing is just used for an anti-social person to criticize Chinese current situation. So, imagine for yourself. If you're standing in front of a zebra strike, everybody around you is just simply ignoring the red light and do jaywalk. Will you step your feet forward and do jaywalk with them? Though you may be a law-abiding citizen, you think it is your obligation to follow the laws and just wait for the red light. So, what if you have already waited for a really great amount of time and the light is still solemnly red? And what if you have something really emergent to do, but you can only stumble around in front of the red light? And what if you have already on the halfway of the intersection and the shining green light suddenly turn red? You will step your feet onto the zebra strike. You will. Don't lie to yourself, you will. And don't blame on yourself too much. This phenomenon is actually caused by various factors. Imagine you're standing in front of zebra strike. There's no one nearby doing jaywalk. Everybody is following that red light. Will you step your feet onto the zebra strike and do jaywalk? However, if there exists a group of people, they're all congesting together and do jaywalk and ignore whether the light is green or red, you will probably just do jaywalk with them. Why? What's the reason? Why individuals' will is influenced by a group of people doing the same behavior? Actually, there is a conformity exists in Chinese public. Conformity refers to the act of matching behaviors, attitudes, beliefs to group norms or politics. And in this case, it actually refers to individual doing jaywalk with a group of people doing the same behavior together. It is easy to understand why. In a fast-paced life, some individuals doing jaywalk do think about the consequence of disobeying the basic regulation. But they think, there's so many people doing this with me. Will the police take fine of so many people? Even the police takes fine. Why would the police discover me among so many people doing this together? I mean, there's not only me doing this. As a result, Chinese crossing takes place. In a fast-paced life, some people are lack of safety awareness and cannot wait for the green light. And as a result, group effect takes shape and some basic regulations are thrown aside. A survey investigating the effect of age, gender, conformity tendency on the intention of pedestrians running the red light in potential dangerous situation. A sample of 426 respondents completed a demographic questionnaire which measures the tendency towards social conformity, and another questionnaire measures the theory of planned behavior. The measurement measures the intention of two situations that pedestrian running the red light. They measure the effect of behavior, subjective norms, perceived behavioral control, anticipated effect, moral norms, and perceived risks. The two scenarios depicted. Firstly, the conformity scenario, which is the pedestrians running the red light is consistent with other pedestrians' behavior. And another scenario, which is the nonconformity scenario, is when the pedestrian's behavior is inconsistent with other pedestrians' behavior. The results reported that the pedestrians have a greater likelihood to cross the road when other pedestrians are doing the same behavior. And pedestrians with greater tendency towards social conformity also have a stronger intention to cross the road with disregard to the traffic light in both scenarios. The predictive model explained that 36% and 48% of the variance in the nonconformity and conformity scenarios, respectively. And those factors of behavior, subjective norms, perceived behavioral control, and anticipated effect all serve as the common predictor. The results have a number of practical and theoretical implications. In particular, intervention should focus on the perception of risks, as they may inform the road user that even you cross the road with other pedestrians disregard the traffic light is also unsafe and prohibited, which may lead to negative outcomes. However, we should analyze the problem of pedestrians running the red light comprehensively, instead of blindly blaming the low quality of the citizen. Actually, the reason that the pedestrians running the red light disregard to the traffic light is actually related to the unscientific management of the urban transportation, the short green light, and the unbalanced relationship between the pedestrians and the motor vehicle users. In this case, the pedestrians have no choice but to run the red light. I bet everyone here has encountered a situation. You walk through an intersection, you walk in your own pace, but unfortunately, the light just turned green. The light just turned green from red when you are in the middle. You have no choice but to run a red light, or you have to wait for like 100 seconds or 120 seconds. In current situations, traffic rules in metropolitan city is actually friendlier to automobiles. For example, the green light in automobile cities is actually greater than those for pedestrians. As the road becomes wider, some elderly and young cannot even cross the intersection, though they run all the way through. So, as a result, they have to run the red light. If they run the red light without a pedestrian island, they'll be stuck in the middle. British scholar Anne Rothfeld studied people waiting. They found that the traffic light in Britain is less about 45 to 60 seconds. And as a result of the Germany's studies, that they found that the limit of German people waiting for the red light is 45 to 60 seconds. As a result, the longest traffic light in Germany does not last longer than 60 seconds. However, Chinese people's patience for waiting the red light is obviously greater. Tongji University conducted a research in Hangzhou, and they found that Hangzhou's people's limit of waiting the red light is actually lasts longer than 70 to 90 seconds. But most traffic lights in China last longer than 90 seconds. For example, traffic light in Hangzhou usually lasts longer than 100 seconds, with the most longest as 145 seconds. And in Shanghai, the situation is even worse. The traffic lights is usually last longer than 120 seconds, with the most longest as 180 seconds. Furthermore, some cars try to speed through right when the light changes. Cars turning red on red, usually try to outflank the pedestrians rather than yield. Cars that turning left on green usually try to thread themselves in a continuous line when they turn left on green. So, in conclusion, the most effective way of solving the problem of Chinese crossing is actually to have a fair, well-organized traffic rules. Since the Chinese government also sensed the serious problem of Chinese crossing, they're actually taking actions. According to Chinese vehicular traffic law in 2019, drivers who do not slow down for a pedestrian to cross the road or stop for pedestrians will be fined 100 yuan and lose 3 points from their driving license. Though you think that the 100 yuan would be paltry, the 3 points from their driving license will be more than a deterrent. I think most of people here, if you are driving a car, you may lose points from your driving license. Chinese driving license will have overall 12 points. And if all of them are lasting 1 year, you will be needed to sit down to have a road safety class and have your driving license reinstated. More and more people are now aware that drivers are obliged to give voice to pedestrians, said one policeman. It's like wearing the seatbelt. In the old days, drivers only fasten their seatbelt whenever there is a police check. However, nowadays, more and more people have a habit of putting their seatbelts as they are aware that it is for their own safety. Also, there exists a clever traffic light in most cities in China. How does it work? If you want to cross the light, just push the button. And no longer than 90-10 seconds, the traffic light will turn to your favorite color, which is green. And when there is no pedestrians wanting to cross the road, the light will automatically turn to red in order for some vehicles to go through. This design is designed to benefit both pedestrians and drivers. And the specialist believes that the clever traffic light will have a helpful way to reduce greatly the percentage of pedestrians to do jaywalk. As if they have any problem, you don't need to just simply ignore it. You just need to push the button, and no longer than a few seconds, the light will turn to your favorite color. The Chinese-style road crossing reflects the deep understanding contradiction between the pedestrians and the motor vehicle users. So, in order to solve the problem, the government should strengthen the education and guidance on citizens' quality, improving their awareness of obeying the traffic laws, improving urban management, and fully protect the pedestrian safety. Also, encouraging drivers to learn the driving awareness in developed countries, installing traffic lights in a scientific way, and taking necessary management measurement could also make a huge difference in China's current situation. As a result, China will not be uncivilized when crossing road, and the traffic order in current situation will be greatly improved. We should all try our best to provide China with the fame of disciplined, secured, and reputable country all around the world. Thank you.